Welcome back, everybody. Week 10 edition of Veggie's Fantasy Corner. Before you guys continue watching this video, I just appreciate you guys. If you took a moment, hit that like and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it a lot. Like I said last week, I'm going to get nothing but love from you guys. There were some good comments on the last video. So if you guys just hit that like and subscribe button before you continue watching this video, it'd be greatly appreciated. From my heart, thank you guys so much. Let's get into these picks, week 10. I got shredded last week in my fantasy picks. I picked the Packers tight end, Josiah DeGuara. He did not have a good week. Jordan Love did not have a good showing against the Kansas City Chiefs. And my defense actually had a pretty good week. I picked the New England Patriots defense on a sleeper pick, and they actually had a pretty good week. I believe they played the Carolina Panthers. They had 18 points. A defensive fumble recovery for a touchdown, and that's just what you're looking for out of those defenses. You want them to get the points for either interceptions, fumble recoveries, and you, especially in DraftKings, you need that touchdown to be able to boost them ahead of those other defenses. So we got that. However, all the other players were pretty much busts, sadly, last week. Didn't do all too well. Hope to adjust that this week in this week's picks. Week 10. Week 10 has a good slate of games, man. I'm really excited to watch these games Sunday. I'm probably going to go to a local spot with me and my friends and watch these games play out, and hopefully watch my players run up those points as well. At our quarterback slot, we're going to roll with Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota Vikings. He's valued at $6,100. He's projected 21.3 points this week. As far as a fantasy perspective goes, Kirk Cousins has had a pretty above average year, I'd say, for a fantasy quarterback. He's had his games where he hasn't performed. As far as last week goes, he didn't have as many points per se, but the next week he goes off. So he's had those, up and down weeks, but every player seems to. There's very few players in this league that are very consistent. And we've seen that now through week 10. If we go back all the way to week 5, week 6, there are those players who are getting 20 points a game and there's continuous, 15 points a game and it was continuous. Now they've kind of had their bust games, and it's really onesie twosies at this point for picking players, and you really got to get lucky. You can predict as much as you want, but at the end of the day, the players really have to put on a show for you. And that's what we're going to try to get with Kirk Cousins this week, going up against the LA Chargers, who I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Both secondaries aren't the greatest. They have they're good up front, and they have good linebackers, but their secondaries, I feel like, get shredded a lot, both teams. So we're going to roll with Kirk Cousins this week, and I'm not stacking them. I'm not playing Justin Jefferson nor Adam Thielen because they cost too much for this lineup that I want to roll with. That brings me down to my next two slots, my running back slots. I went running back heavy this week. The last 3 weeks I've been doing these videos, I've never gone running back heavy. This week I'm going to go running back heavy where I believe my money is going to get made. Naji Harris and James Conner are my two guys this week. James Conner is now profoundly, for the next 6 weeks, going to be the workhorse for the Arizona Cardinals with Chase Edmonds going down. It says here he got 26 totes last week, and that's because he got all the catches and all the targets and all the runs after after Chase Edmonds went down. So he's only valued at $6,300. That point total is going to go up exponentially, I believe, over the next couple weeks. However, week 10, we're going to play him at $6,300 with him being the number one guy in Arizona against a Carolina Panthers team who isn't exactly the best matchup for him. It's the fourth. They're pretty good against the run. Carolina Panthers have a good, strong front, and they're going to be good against the run. However, I do believe that since James Conner is really the only guy in the backfield now with Chase Edmonds out, he's going to get a lot of fantasy points just due to volume of getting that ball and maybe a couple of targets in the flats. After that, it's Naji Harris. That's pretty self-explanatory. Naji Harris has been doing it since day one. His rookie year, he's really making a statement. He made a statement this Sunday. I believe it was Sunday night. No, it was Monday night. Monday night, Chicago played Pittsburgh, and Naji Harris looked good even against a really good Chicago Bears run defense. And this week he plays Detroit, which is an abysmal run defense. Detroit has, I believe, the second worst run defense in the league. So the matchup is there. Hopefully Naji Harris can get it done for me this week. He's valued at $7,900, so he's really expensive for a running back. However, he's valued at 20.6 points, and he's got a good matchup this week, so we're going to roll with him. He's probably going to be highly owned, but that's okay. I think he's going to be the pick this week if you want to get a lot of points. After that, we're going to have our 3 wide receiver slots. This week, my 3 wide receivers are going to be Mike Williams of the LA Chargers, Cole Beasley of the Buffalo Bills, and Elijah Moore of the New York Jets. Cole Beasley and Elijah Moore for this week are on opposite teams. Buffalo's playing New York Jets. Cole Beasley had a little bit of a clunker last week, and he's questionable. However, the Bills they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which surprised everybody that watched football. And I don't think they're going to stand for that this week against the Jets, who are coming on hot. The Jets do not look bad. You know, people may look at their record and say the Jets are not a good football team. I think they have they have the players to win games. They just haven't been able to put the piece together at the end of the day. So they got Buffalo's number, and they're in the same division, so it's a divisional game too. And Buffalo cannot lose 2 games back-to-back against bad teams. That would detrimentally set them back in the AFC playoff race. I think Cole Beasley is going to be utilized a lot in this game because they need a win coming off that big loss to Jacksonville. Elijah Moore for the New York Jets is also having a stellar year. He's valued at $4,700 DK bucks. So very cheap for a wide receiver, and the last 3 games he's put up over 15 points. If Buffalo is going to want to beat the New York Jets, I think they're going to have to score a lot of points, especially through the air. And Elijah Moore is going to have a lot to do with that because Corey Davis is out again. At least he's scheduled, or he's projected to be out this week. At least the reports are saying he's projected to be out again this week, which puts Elijah Moore at that wide receiver 2 slot for the New York Jets, and they've been utilizing him a lot since Corey Davis has gone down. So we're gonna roll with Elijah Moore based on value. He's only valued at $4,700, which is cheap, and he should get the points for us to boost us into those higher rankings. My 3rd wide receiver is Mike Williams, the LA Chargers. I really like this pick because he's going up against the Minnesota Vikings, who got shredded again last week against the Baltimore Ravens. Minnesota's I feel like they have to win this game, man, if they want to stay in it. However, they're so close every week, and they just don't seem to get it done. So I feel like Mike Williams is going to have something to do with that, whether Minnesota gets it done or not. Mike Williams is going to be putting up a lot of points for the LA Chargers because Minnesota's secondary is depleted due to injury, and they just don't have the guys to defend against those deep ball threats, especially ones that are 6'4" in Mike Williams. So we're going to roll with Mike Williams this week. I feel like he's going to be highly owned, either him or Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen actually had 13 targets last week, which is a pretty high number due to the fact that he did not have that many targets earlier in the season. It was all Mike Williams. So Mike Williams may not be as much owned as Keenan Allen. However, regardless, we're going to roll with Mike Williams on kind of a, hope they throw to him pick, because they may end up throwing to Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen's about $1,000 more than Mike Williams is worth, so we can't unfortunately fit him in our lineup this week, but we can fit Mike Williams. So we're kind of going on a, hopefully they throw to him pick, because he does have the capability to get a lot of points. But if Justin Herbert looks Keenan Allen's way, then that's just the luck of the draw, because Keenan Allen's a good wide receiver too, great wide receiver, but Mike Williams is there for that second guy just in case Keenan Allen's not open. So those are 3 wide receivers this week. Hopefully they can get it done for us. Next up is our tight end slot. As you guys saw on Monday Night Football, for my viewers that watch Monday Night Football, Mr. Freiermuth of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had 2 touchdowns. I believe I think he had their only 2 touchdowns. They might have had one. They might have had one more touchdown. I don't remember exactly who got it, but Pat definitely got 2 of those touchdowns. He didn't have a ton of receiving yards, but when you can put up 2 touchdowns as a tight end, that's all you can ask for. At least for that tight end slot, because besides Travis Kelce, This year, there's not a lot of tight ends that are getting very many TDs, let alone yards plus targets. So Pat seems to be that guy that's stepping up for that Vance McDonald slot that was lost last year, and they really like him in Pittsburgh. You could hear Freemuth whenever he caught the ball, they chanted his name, Pat. They chanted his name. The fans like him. Ben Roethlisberger likes him. So we're gonna roll with Pat, valued at $3,900, and hopefully he can have a repeat this week. They play against Detroit, so we'll see how that one goes. I feel like picking him this week just based on monetary value. I don't want to pick Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is valued at $5,800. That's just too much. I don't know. I don't want to put too much on a tight end at least this week. I could have gone with TJ Hawkinson at $5,500, Dalton Schultz at $5,200, but I don't know. I think Pat Freiermuth gets enough volume to be selected in DraftKings, especially valued at $3,900, to fit guys into our lineup in our flex and defense special teams slots. So our last but not least, our flex spot, we're going to roll with Cordero Patterson, the Atlanta Falcons. Cordero Patterson's been doing it all year, man. I don't know how he's been doing it. I know nobody could have predicted that. He's putting up RB1 numbers. He should have been picked in the first or second round as far as I'm concerned in fantasy drafts. This guy's putting up over 15 points in every game this year except one game, which I may remind you that he did not play. He didn't play in that game, so he got 0. Every game he's played and he's got over 15 points. It'd just be dumb not to pick him, valued at $6,600 if we can fit him into our lineup. He's just been doing it for Atlanta, man. He's been that guy. Even when Calvin Ridley wasn't in, even when he was in there, Cordero Patterson was still that main guy getting those targets in the red zone, getting those targets on 3rd and 5. That guy to look for, the guy that Matt Ryan looks for when they need a first down. Cordero Patterson's been that guy for them in 2021. So he is, he's projected 19.6 points. That is a ton of points. I don't think Cordero Patterson has ever been projected that many points in his career, as far as I'm concerned. So we're gonna roll with him in our flex spot, man. He's really put on a show this year, and he's kind of turning into that guy that's I feel like is a must play now going into week 10. And if he continues that, he's gonna be in my lineup every week if he continues to get 15 plus points. But then again, his value will also go up, so that's another dependent that we have to look at. But Cordero Patterson has been borderline unstoppable this year as far as fantasy stats go. So we're going to roll with him in our flex spot this week in week 10 against the Dallas Cowboys. So that's going to be a high scoring game. I'm excited to watch that game too. It's going to be a very good game. That's in Dallas at noon on Sunday. It's going to be partly cloudy, but Dallas plays in a dome, so that don't matter. I don't think that'll limit Patterson's volume at all. So we're going to roll with him in our flex spot this week. Defense special teams this week, we got the Tennessee Titans going up against the New Orleans Saints. People will argue this matchup, saying it's not a good matchup, yada, yada, yada. I learned last week that as far as the defense special teams go, the matchup doesn't really matter as much as you think it is. I mean, look at Buffalo. So many people picked Buffalo against Jacksonville. Jacksonville beat them. Dallas lost to Denver. You can pick these guys valued at higher, but at the end of the day, it's the NFL, and these guys are all out there trying to feed their families. These are grown men out there trying to feed their families. So these defensive guys, if they pin their ears back, you might get a sleeper pick. And if you get a sleeper pick and they force a fumble and then take that fumble all the way to the house, that's all you can ask for out of a defense special teams in daily fantasy. So, and the Tennessee Titans, led by Mike Vrabel, have been nothing but good things to say to them as far as I'm concerned this year. They've been very good against the run. They've been good pass rushing as well. Mike Vrabel just let them loose. And they're very stout against the pass. They got good cornerbacks. So we're going to roll with them against the New Orleans Saints this week. I believe that's going to be a good game as well. I don't even know who's starting quarterback this week for New Orleans. It's probably going to be Taysom Hill. If not, we'll see how that goes. Or Trevor Simeon's their quarterback. That's right. So he's been doing okay, but I think the Tennessee Titans are going to come in with a good game plan this week on defense, and they're going to get it done against the New Orleans Saints and maybe get a couple sacks and hopefully a couple fumble recoveries for us or a touchdown. That's what we always hope for. That's my lineup for Week 8. This week, we're going to have Kirk Cousins as our quarterback, Naji Harris, James Conner, our 2 running back slots, Mike Williams, Cole Beasley, and Elijah Moore at our wide receiver slots, Pat Freiermuth at tight end, Cordero Patterson as our flex spot, and the Tennessee Titans as our defense special team slot. Remember, these can all change due to injury later in the week, so if some people are out, some people are in, this will change. However, as of Wednesday, the Wednesday in Week 10, this is going to be my lineup as of now, and I have a lot of faith in this lineup. That's it for me for Week 10, you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to have videos weekly coming for you guys. A lot better content coming soon. And there's a lot more to come, man. I'm really enjoying making these videos. It's a lot of fun. And I really like the comments you guys have for me. So thank you. Again, I wish you guys all a happy Week 10. And let's get those lineups, man. Let's get them right. I'm out.